So, first up, we're going to talk to Melissa Deaton. Melissa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, this will be your second trip to the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. What Josie Music Awards category are you nominated in this year?
This year, I am nominated in Songwriter Achievement and Female Country Vocalist of the Year.
Oh, fantastic. Now, yay!
Thank you.
Again, it's not just one thing she's nominated for, it's several, just like your instruments. You play several instruments. What are some of your favorites? What is your favorite to play?
I mainly play the guitar. I sometimes play the ukulele, but I really try to stick with the guitar and trying to improve on my one instrument, and of course my voice is my main instrument.
Absolutely. The voice is definitely an instrument. So maybe I do have that. I do have
right.
a instrument somewhere in there. But let's talk about your music career and how it's evolved to where it was to where it is now.
Okay. Well, I started singing in church at 5. I sang an Amy Grant song, Father's Eyes. And then I continued to do that through most of my childhood. And then as a teenager, I started doing like singing competitions, and I did it to like pretty much build my confidence and being able to accept winning and losing, which is really important. And then I started singing in a Motown band actually in my early 20s. And we did like weddings and fundraisers, and that was a huge learning experience. And it was that became like the beginning of like my musical family and being involved in the music community. And then I went off and did other things, became a flight attendant, and then I started singing in TV and radio broadcasts. And that's when I really started to become more of a professional musician and started singing on stage with like Jewel, Elle King, and then actually Amy Grant was on, and I told her about me performing her song, my very first song, Father's Eyes, and she sang that song for me. So it was like a whole full circle moment. And then I started to learn the guitar so I could start writing my own music. And then that's, where it's been taken off from there. So.
A true musician, folks.
Yes, and Melissa had a most famous passenger on one of her airlines at one point.
I've had a couple.
Oh, That's awesome. Tell us more.
This is even better.
Yeah, this is much more interesting. I used to fly for private out of Bluegrass Airport for W.T. Young's plane, and I was LeBron James' flight attendant.
Ooh, what? I was expecting somebody small, but no.
No, but my main passenger was Bill Clinton. I was his flight attendant for like
good Lord, they just keep getting bigger.
A couple of days. That was definitely a highlight experience. So
she has pictures, folks.
Yeah, I got proof.
Oh, wow. So some people do this or do that for years, and they never meet one person. You meet two huge stars, and you also did some reality television.
That's right.
Now, the reality show that you did do might not be associated with music, but tell the audience about the reality show experience that you had.
Okay, yeah, I always get myself involved in all kinds of crazy stuff. But me and my mom were renovating a house in Georgetown, and we had kind of gotten a little over budget, and so I was trying to really think outside of the box to find something creative to make up for that extra money. So I looked into doing a reality show, and I looked up DIY Network, and they were looking for like unique spaces, and they really wanted family, and it was mother and daughter, which is kind of rare. And so they picked us up right away, and next thing I know, there's a film crew in our house in my face while I'm brushing my teeth while I'm sleeping in bed. And we spent like 3 or 4 days knocking out ceilings in this turret, and it was hilarious, and it was an awesome experience and something we always have together, and it made up that extra money we needed. So
even though it was kind of a renovation type reality show, did they encourage drama of any kind?
Absolutely. They were trying to get us to all kinds of crazy stuff, and I was like, my grandmother's watching this, and we like made them promise that they would be respectful and not put anything crazy, and they were so amazing. But they definitely were pushing things, and some things were a little staged, but it was just, they made it hilarious. But we didn't need much help. We were pretty ridiculous. I walked around with a hammer in my hand for like 5 minutes looking for the hammer, and they had like a their little
subtitles.
Subtitles come up with an arrow like, it's in your hand.
Now, I'm sure you were lovable enough to garner some attention from that. Did you gain some followers, not really just for your music, just by your personality from being a reality star?
My mom was getting fan mail and all kinds of stuff for a while.
That is wild.
But I don't really know if Facebook was even, some wasn't as huge as it was now, and like social media wasn't really as big. So, but yeah, she was getting fan mail and people from like Mexico and all over the place. They're like, we love you guys so much. And they played that rerun for like 2 years or something. We had like top ratings.
And it disappeared, and Warren and I found it this week.
Can we find that on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. It's not on YouTube, but it is. I can tell you like where to find it. It's actually on Roku channel.
Oh, okay.
And I guess the show's been picked up by Discovery Plus now. So these shows kind of transfer ownership over the course of time. And we just kept searching for it, and all of a sudden we searched the other night, and there it was.
Thank goodness to our good investigators.
So
I am a detective.
You're meant to be famous. I mean, you're on reality TV, you're doing music. So this is not your first time going to the Grand Ole Opry for the Josie Music Awards. How does it feel to be going back and nominated again?
Well, it's definitely a validation. The first time I was like, I honestly was afraid it was a mistake, and they were going to call and be like, oh, sorry, we got your name mixed up with someone else.
That's how I would feel. That's how I would feel.
So, yeah, being nominated again for the second year is a huge validation. This year, I feel like I can be like really excited. And then I'm working on my new album this year. So I'm really excited about that, and looking forward to hopefully getting another nomination for that next year.
Well, just congratulations to you, Melissa. Melissa actually has to go to a gig to perform this evening, but before she leaves, what are we going to get to hear on this special Josie Music Awards Kentucky edition preview show? Tell us about the song we're about to hear.
It's called Kentucky State of Blue. This was actually on my EP that I was nominated for at the Josie Music Awards last year. And I wrote this song because I have traveled around quite a bit, and people always ask the most ridiculous questions about Kentucky, and also even people that are from the state ask strange questions or seem not to understand. So this was a way to kind of explain who we are as Kentucky and our culture. So it's called Kentucky State of Blue. All
right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let's welcome Melissa Deaton with Kentucky State of Blue. was Melissa Deaton with Kentucky State of Blue here on Off the Cuff with Adam Banks and Renee Cobb this afternoon. What a great song that was.
Yes, it sure was. And Melissa, we're so happy that you were with us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.